My colleague Brijesh Pandey joins us with more on this story. Brijesh, it was clear that the dates were going to come out sometime this week. In fact, during the last elections, the dates had been announced by the 10th of March. Now we know for sure that tomorrow on the 16th of March, the Election Commission is going to unveil the schedule for the Lok Sabha elections and some state assembly elections as well. A highly anticipated event, no doubt, in the political corridors and indeed across the country.
Well, absolutely. All eyes will be at Election Commission of India's speech at Chief CEC Rajiv Kumar when he'll be unveiling, the entire nitty-gritties of how this election is going to be held. We are expecting that there's going to be at least 7 to 8 rounds of election, especially in states which has a security-related problem. And apart from that, by the end of May, I think, results are likely to be declared because between the announcement and the first phase, the Election Commission usually gives some 25 to 30 days period time so that the political parties can start. But this election is going to be very, very crucial for the Election Commission because, with the advancement of technology, issues like deep fake and others have made their presence very widely known, especially the way we have been encountering in the last couple of months. And Election Commission, another big challenge will be on the hate speech, which is to be articulated by, the political parties, a representative of political parties. So hate speech, curbing of fake news, and combating deepfake is going to be 3 key challenges for the Election Commission, apart from the usual, the way they go about how to hold election in a country this big and this diverse. Neha?
Well, certainly this election, a crucial election for the country, will be held over several phases in the months of April and May, as has been the case for many, many years now. Brijesh, for the benefit of our viewers, if you could just explain how this normally pans out and by when the next government needs to be in place. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the tenure of the current Lok Sabha, which is the 17th Lok Sabha, ends on the 16th of June. And would it be safe to expect the new government to be sworn in by the end of May?
Well, I think, it will be very safe to say that the government will be sworn in by the end of May because I think what we have been given to understand is that by the end of May, the counting will take place. And I think, once the counting is over, then it hardly takes time unless you land yourself in a big political imbroglio. The new government can be sworn in. They are definitely not going to cross the constitutionally mandated period. Whether, after that you cannot hold the elections or at least, swear in the government. So I don't think that is going to be a problem. It'll be interesting to see how many phases are there because last time also the election was conducted in 7 phases. Will it be 6? Will it be 8? I think all of these questions are going to be answered by Election Commission. But what we have been given reliably to understand is that I think by the end of May, the entire counting and all will take place and the new government can be sworn in either in the last week of May or the first week of June. Yeah.
Okay, and before we look at the big political picture, Brijesh, just want to ask you a question about the Election Commission itself, which has been shrouded in controversy recently with the shock resignation of an election commissioner, and in the same week you had another election commissioner completing his term and retiring. Therefore, there was a situation where the panel headed by the Prime Minister had to meet and appoint 2 new election commissioners. There were many questions raised by the opposition, criticism leveled against the government. Would it be all right to say that most of those controversies surrounding the Election Commission have been put to rest by now?
I think, what exactly happened and why the election commissioner, who resigned when he was all set to become the next chief election commissioner after February 25, once the current CEC Rajiv Kumar would dim it, is something which is shrouded in mystery and nobody knows, what prompted them. Was it, a skirmish or a standoff to a level where he couldn't continue anymore? Because, election commission is a completely different beast compared to other, departments of the government where the stakes are very, very high. And the fact is the election commissioner who has put in his papers was somebody who, when he entered the election commission, quoted massive controversy because he resigned as a secretary, heavy industry, and the very next day he was roped in as election commissioner. You know, petitions were filed in the Supreme Court and all, and his exit was equally controversial. So definitely this did not cover election commission in its all splendid glory. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, this should also not take away from the fact that the kind of effort which has been put on in the last, 6 months, where the election commissioners, the top 3 election commissioners, have been going to state to undergo and see personally, the kind of arrangement that is being made to make sure that the elections are held smoothly and all. But yes, you are absolutely correct that, the election or the work of election commission should be at the forefront. But unfortunately, it is the role of the election commissioners and the personalities which were at the forefront, and pretty controversially so. Just a couple of days back, and even yesterday, when the Prime Minister's led committee met and elected 2 new election commissioners, there was, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who's another member, went on to say that, that he couldn't fathom why the Chief Justice of India was dropped, and why has a new law come which says that the cabinet minister has to replace the CGI, thereby tilting the composition of election commission appointment committee heavily in favor of the government of the day. Yeah.
Well, clearly the recomposition of the selection panel has been a matter of huge controversy, because now clearly the government of India has the majority vote, so to speak, on that panel. But let's certainly hope that all the controversies will be put to rest now, and as those dates are announced by the Election Commission tomorrow, we can celebrate the festival of democracy. After all, we do pride ourselves on being the largest democracy in the world, and indeed a vibrant one.